Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. In this module, I will explain a topic for the PG course in Environmental Science, and the name of the module is Biotransformation. In this module, I will explain about biotransformation, types of biotransformation, xenobiotics and their sources, role of biotransformation and its advantages. The learning objectives of this module are to familiarize the concept of biotransformation, to understand the types and consequences of biotransformation, to study the factors influencing biotransformation. Now let's talk about the xenobiotics and their sources. Xenobiotic is defined as a chemical or molecule that is foreign and exert a variety of effects on the biological system. These effects may be beneficial in case of drugs or deleterious in case of poisons. The origin of these toxins that are present in our body, commonly referred to as xenobiotics, comes from an array of sources. These sources include exogenous sources that include environmental exposure, such as in the air we breathe, the food we eat, the water we drink, and the medications. And the endogenous sources such as the products produced by digestion, energy metabolism, tissue regeneration, and end products from the metabolism of hormones, bacterial bioproducts, and other complex molecules. Other xenobiotics include natural and manufactured chemicals such as drugs, industrial chemicals, pesticides, pollutants, pyrolysis products in cooked food, alkaloids, secondary plant metabolites, and toxins produced by molds, plants, and animals. Now let's discuss about the need for the biotransformation. Xenobiotics are mostly lipophilic in nature, due to which they are easily absorbed through the skin, lungs, or gastrointestinal tract and cannot be easily eliminated from the body. So, to eliminate xenobiotics, detoxification is very important. Detoxification is a process of transforming and removing xenobiotics that are potentially harmful products from the body. The detoxification process has its own energy, nutrient, and regulatory requirements. Elimination of xenobiotics often depends on their conversion to water-soluble chemicals. So the process of transforming toxins into a form suitable for excretion is called biotransformation. Without biotransformation, lipophilic xenobiotics would be excreted from the body so slowly that they would eventually overwhelm and kill an organism. In the next, I will talk about biotransformation and what is biotransformation. Biotransformations are structural modification of a chemical compound by organisms or by their enzyme systems that lead to the formation of a new molecules with relatively greater polarity. This chemical process of modification of endogenous or exogenous chemicals into water-soluble chemicals aid in the easy elimination of the toxic or foreign chemicals from the body. Natural biotransformation mechanisms are catalyzed by enzymes in the liver and other tissues. However, the natural transformation processes are slow, non-specific, and less productive. There are also other types of biotransformation reactions catalyzed by microbes called microbial biotransformation, which was developed to acclimatize to environmental changes, making them useful in several biotechnological processes. The most significant aspect of biotransformation is that it maintains the original carbon skeleton after obtaining the products. Biotransformations can also be used to synthesize compounds or material where synthetic approaches are challenging. There are further two types of biotransformation. First one is enzymatic and second one is non-enzymatic. In enzymatic biotransformation, it is a process of elimination of chemicals from the human body catalyzed by various enzymes present in the body. In the body, enzymes metabolizing the drugs and xenobiotics are different from food metabolizing enzymes. They are broadly classified into microsomal and second one is non-microsomal. Microsomal biotransformation is caused by enzymes present within the lipophilic membranes of smooth endoplasmic reticulum, that is SER. Microsomal enzymes are located on smooth endoplasmic reticulum of liver, kidney, lungs, intestinal mucosa and catalyze majority of drugs. Biotransformation reactions that includes oxidative, reductive and hydrolytic reactions. The enzymes are inducible by drugs and diet. Examples of microsomal enzyme include cytochrome P450, NADPH, that is flavoprotein. Next one is flamin monoxidase system, FMO. Next one is epoxide hydroxylase, EH. Next one, molecular oxygen and membrane lipids. If we talk about the non-microsomal biotransformation, it is catalyzed by non-microsomal enzymes that are non-specific enzymes. These enzymes are located in the cytoplasm and mitochondria of liver cells, plasma and also in other tissues. They are not inducible but show polymorphism. They catalyze very few oxidative, a number of reductive and hydrolytic reactions. They also show conjugation reactions except for glucourinidation. Examples are xanthine oxidase converting hypoxanthine into xanthine, cytotoxic agent 6-mercaptocurine, monoamine oxidase involved in non-microsomal metabolism of catecholamines and noradrenalines, alcohol dehydrogenase responsible for metabolism of ethanol into acetaldehyde, tyrosine hydrolysis enzymes. Now, the metabolizing enzymes that catalyze biotransformation are either less or completely absent in the neonates, leading to decreased metabolism of drug. This makes a drug toxic. For example, certain syrups are toxic for children despite of minimum alcohol percentage. Drug metabolism enzymes are controlled by specific genes coding for specific proteins or enzymes. However, the specific gene-coded proteins vary from species to species. For example, dogs are deficient in acetyltransferase, whereas cats are deficient in glucuronidase transferase. Also, some drugs are inactivated in the body fluids by spontaneous molecular rearrangement without the presence of any enzyme. They are eliminated from the body due to hepatic dysfunction. Example, atracurium. Now, non-enzymatic biotransformation means the absence of enzymes. Spontaneous, non-catalyzed and non-enzymatic types of biotransformation are highly active. It produces unstable compounds at varying physiological pH. Some of the examples include hexamine converted into formaldehyde. Now, talking about the role of the biotransformation causes. The polarity of the drugs increases after metabolism in the body. This favors easy excretion of the drugs. Next one is alteration or termination of drug activity. Converts product to active compound. Converts less active drug to more active drug. Produces toxic compound. Now coming to the consequences of biotransformation. The physical properties of xenobiotics are generally changed from those favoring absorption to those favoring excretion in the urine. However, an exception is the elimination of volatile compounds by exhalation, wherein biotransformation to non-volatile water-soluble chemicals can retard their rate of elimination. Similarly, biotransformation of xenobiotics in the brain and testis, these are two organs with a barrier to chemical transport, might also be an obstacle to xenobiotic elimination. If the metabolites cannot cross the blood-brain or blood-testis barrier. Second one is xenobiotics exert a variety of effects on biological systems that may be beneficial or deleterious depending on the physicochemical properties of the xenobiotic. Example, in the pharmacology, chemical modification of drugs by biotransformation helps the drug to exert its pharmacodynamic effect. In toxicology, many xenobiotics must undergo biotransformation to exert their characteristic toxic or tumorigenic effect. However, biotransformation terminates the pharmacological effects of a drug and lessens the toxicity of xenobiotics. Enzymes catalyzing biotransformation reactions often determine the intensity and duration of activity of drugs and play a key role in the chemical toxicity and chemical tumorigenesis. Here is the figure 1 showing the schematic representation which describes the role of xenobiotic in the presence or absence of the biotransformation. A xenobiotic, it may endogenous or exogenous, it may be eliminated by no biotransformation and biotransformation. If it is eliminated by no biotransformation, it will accumulate in the tissue and rest of the xenobiotic eliminate. But in case of biotransformation, it undergoes through phase 1 and phase 2 and further eliminated from the body. Here I will discuss about biotransformation capacity of organism. Biotransformation capacity of the organism depends on the degree to which the organisms are exposed to xenobiotics. For example, insects that feed on a variety of plants have a greater capacity to biotransform xenobiotics than insects that feed on a limited number of plants. Compared with the mammals, fish have a low capacity of metabolize xenobiotics because they can eliminate xenobiotics unchanged across their gills. Other factors affecting biotransformation: pre-systemic metabolism, first pass effect, route of administration. First pass effect or pre-systemic metabolism is a phenomenon of drug metabolism wherein the concentration of drug is greatly reduced before it reaches the systemic circulation. Drugs following first pass metabolism have decreased bioavailability. Most of the drugs are metabolized within the liver. Changing the route of administration might change the first pass metabolism. For example, propanol is 80% metabolized before reaching systemic circulation. Next one is genetic variations. Drugs behave differently in different individuals due to genetic variations. These inter-individual genetic variations result either in complete absence of enzymes or its malformation, leading to malformed genes. Mostly, non-microsomal enzymes show genetic variations. Example, succinylcholine, a skeletal muscle relaxant, is metabolized by pseudocholine esterase. Some people lack this enzyme, due to which metabolism of succinylcholine might not occur. When administered in those individuals, prolonged apnea might result. Different groups of populations might be classified as fast metabolizer and poor metabolizers of drugs. For certain drugs like isoniazid, fast acetylators as well as slow acetylators are present. Fast acetylators cause a rapid acetylation while poor metabolizer metabolize less. Hepatic acetyl transferase catalyzes acetylation. Slow acetylation might occur due to the genetic malformation, leading to decreased production. Fast metabolism may lead to hepatotoxicity, while poor metabolism might result in peripheral neuropathy. Absence of catalase may lead to achalasia, while G6PD deficiency predisposes erythrocytes to hemolysis as a result of oxidative stress imposed by some commonly used drugs. The next one is species differences. Drug metabolizing capacity varies between species. The difference is most established in animals. Some metabolize drugs rapidly and some do not. Example, rats and rabbits metabolize drugs more efficiently than humans. Likewise, in human drug metabolizing capacity varies between races. Example, drug metabolizing capacity of certain anti-malarial drug is different amongst the Eskimos and Asians. Eskimos may metabolize drugs more efficiently than Asians. Exposure to pollutants from environment or industry, exposure to external factors such as pollutants and chemical affect the enzymes of the biotransformation reaction, resulting in enhanced or inhibited biotransformation. Smoking and chronic alcoholism might act as an enzyme inducer. Similarly, pesticides or insecticides may act as enzyme inducers. Likewise, environmental factors too influence and show effect on biotransformation. In hot and humid climate, biotransformation is decreased and vice versa. At high altitude, the occurrence of biotransformation decreases due to decreased oxygen, leading to decreased oxidation of drugs. Next one is age. Age plays a very important role in drug metabolism by biotransformation. Extreme age groups behave almost the same. Drug metabolizing enzymes develop early but their capacity is low. Thus, the rate of metabolism in infants is very low. Care should be taken in administering drugs in younger patients. True development of enzyme occurs in 1 to 2 months. Toxic effects in the form of gray baby syndrome might occur. The baby may be cyanosed, hypothermic, flaccid, and gray in color. Shock and even death might occur if toxic level get accumulated. In elderly people, most processes slow down and leads to decreased metabolism. Shrinkage of organs occurs along with decreased liver functions and decreased blood flow through the liver. All these factors decrease the metabolism. Old people that are usually taking multiple drugs are more prone. Henceforth, the drug doses should be decreased in the elderly persons. Now, next factor is sex. Male have a higher BMR as compared to females, thus can metabolize drugs more efficiently. Females during pregnancy have an increased rate of metabolism. Thus, the drug dose has to be increased. After the pregnancy, previous doses can be high and hence the doses should be decreased and reverted back to the normal levels. Examples include phenytoin, whose dose has to be increased during pregnancy. Drug-drug interaction. Toxic effects might result when drug combinations act as enzyme inhibitors and inducers. The dose has to be adjusted accordingly. Next one is nutrition. Malnutrition may also affect biotransformation. Depletion of amino acids and glycine may affect drug metabolizing capacity, especially during the phase 2, which depends on the food stores. Synthesis of microsomal enzymes depend on nutritional status. Next one is pathological conditions. Most of the drugs are metabolized in the liver. Any disease which might cause cirrhosis, viral hepatitis, drugs-induced hepatitis, hepatocarcinoma may slow down the metabolizing capacity. Jaundice depresses glucuronic acid conjugation and oxidative function of liver microsomes. Likewise, cardiovascular diseases, although have no direct effect, decreases the blood flow, which may slow down biotransformation of drugs like isoniazid, morphine, and propranolol. Similarly, pulmonary conditions may decrease biotransformation. Next one is circadian rhythm. The rate of hepatic metabolism of certain drugs follow diurnal rhythm in rats and mice. This may be true in humans as well. Now, the advantages of biotransformation. Significance of bioconversion reactions becomes obvious when the production of a particular compound is difficult by chemical methods. Second one is biotransformation reactions are highly preferred as they are cheaper, more direct than their chemical analogues, and the conversion normally proceeds under conditions that are regarded as environmentally acceptable. They are generally preferred to chemical reactions because of substrate specificity, stereospecificity, and mixed reactions conditions, that is pH, temperature, and pressure. Fourth one is in biotransformation, the enzymes or whole cells provide a remarkable enhancement in reaction rates as well as specificity to exhibit high stereoselectivity over the corresponding reactions. Fifth one is microbial biotransformation offers the advantages of highly selective operations at non-extreme pH, near room temperature, and reduced level of toxic waste products. Biotransformation with recombinant microbial enzymes have been widely used, including applications for the production of hormones, antibiotics, and specialty chemicals. The environmental pollution due to biotransformation is almost insignificant or negligible. In addition, it is easy to apply recombinant DNA technology to make the desired improvements in biotransformation. Another practical advantage of biotransformations is that it is easy to scale up the processes due to limited number of reactions. At the end of this module, we have studied about concept of biotransformation, need of biotransformation, advantages and disadvantages of biotransformation, types and consequences of biotransformation, and factors influencing biotransformation. Dear students, I hope this session would have given you an insight into the topic. Thank you very much.